So tell us a little bit about your son, kind of his age and where, where he was and the challenges, the things you were seeing that were concerning you that made you look for an intervention or a solution.
Yeah. Luke is the youngest of 3 sons, and the older 2 learned very quickly and easily how to read. So then all of a sudden we have this 3rd son who's going through kindergarten and 1st grade and 2nd grade, and reading is not coming together for him. He's a very physical child. His development, the milestones that he reached quickly were all physical ones. Walking, running, riding a scooter.
So had a lot of self-confidence in those activities.
And had, probably by the end of 2nd grade, considered himself not the reader brother, that he was the more physical brother and he wasn't the reader. And sort of, in a way, he loves to tell stories and loves to hear stories, but definitely wouldn't go to a book in downtime. Downtime was going out and riding his bike or playing basketball. And his test scores at school were reflecting that, were reflecting not as much growth in reading as his brothers had had. He started in 3rd grade, and the testing that came back in math and particularly in reading compared to the end of 2nd grade was considerably lower. And his dad and I just felt that this wasn't coming together on its own. It wasn't something that with time was coming together. So we looked into different programs, and LearningRx seemed to be a really good fit for the struggles that we thought he had in auditory processing, a little bit in attention, but mainly in reading. And one thing that definitely attracted me to the program was the focus on phonics. And in signing up for the longer version, the 24-week version, he was able to have that concentrated phonics reading program, the drilling, sprinkled in with the more fun ThinkRx program.
Sure. And so what was your you did the 6-month program. What was your experience like with the staff, the trainer?
Well, first we had to decide to sign on for 6 months, which is, that's a good chunk of time when you're talking 5 hours a week.
Especially with an active child.
With 3
or 3, I forgot.
Active children who are involved in a lot of activities, plus a dog. And though this was a priority, even both of his brothers felt that this was a priority for our family, to get Luke help so that he could read and be more confident in school and feel better about himself there. We did sign up for the 6-month program, kind of taking a deep breath, thinking we'll just take it week by week and not even think how long it feels in the beginning. I think we started off with a very positive, excited boy who was really happy to come, and that lasted weeks into the program. He liked Chip a lot. I think that was a good match for him. It was challenging though, and I think as the kind of weeks wore on, there was a little bit of fatigue coupled with being constantly challenged, being
and probing,
at that point of frustration. And I was hesitant to voice concerns simply because I want to be a nice person, but at the same time, we were investing a lot of time with him, and it's kind of his confidence level and his ability to learn was hinging on sticking with the program. And so I did go ahead and speak up, and I felt that the staff here was very receptive to A, even hearing my concerns, and then B, figuring out a way to either make it work with the trainer he had or think about a different trainer. And I appreciated the openness and receptivity to our concerns. It wasn't a defensive or stonewalled approach. It was, let's hear what's going on and let's see what we can do to help Luke through the program.
And so you stuck with it. You had faith in the program.
And I felt the concessions and the tweaks that were made were really very helpful, and even I'm hoping that will help with other kids as they come through.
Yep.
I appreciated the flexibility within the program to work with our specific child. And,
good.
That was good, and
So now the good stuff, the changes along. What are some of the specific improvements you've noticed?
Well, through evaluations, and Luke attends a public school. So we get a lot of them to look at. In this certain test that he scored pretty low in the fall, he had a 60-point gain out of 100 points in the reading section, and that was huge. It reflected his hard work, that he was learning, that it was coming together for him. Money well spent, and it's a lot of money, but if you have
the cost of not doing the program was probably more dramatic than doing it.
And the fact that this wasn't coming together and on its own, and third grade is a pretty critical year for getting that reading to come together, moving on to be able to handle fourth grade. At his last parent-teacher conference, his teacher said that Luke will be able to handle anything they throw at him in reading, anything, content, fiction, nonfiction, next year in fourth grade. And that I shared that with him, and his face just lit up. And it's the program with the whole external earning points, philosophically, I'm not sure that I buy into that for a typical child. It's not the way I run our family with that. I see the value of it, coupled with the fact that you can tell looking at him that it's internal, that he has absorbed that, or it's coming directly from him, that pride, and that and just the strength and the confidence in being able to read now. It's huge. He takes a book to the bus stop now. This was a boy who would throw the football, kick the soccer ball with the kids at the bus stop. He now will run back in the house to get the book that he's reading so that he can stick his nose in the book until the bus comes.
Oh, that's great. So and so that's kind of his confidence around reading, which he obviously used to avoid or not feel so good about his ability to do. What is he? Have you seen any more general changes, the way he interacts with the family, the environment?
I think he doesn't lack for confidence. He's a sparkly, confident child. But I think he had always thought of himself as not as smart as his brothers. That comes from being that much smaller, that much younger. The youngest is always going to feel like he's trying to catch up. But he even said, well, when they were in second and third grade, they didn't have the troubles I had with reading. And so I think he was, sticking himself in his own pigeonhole just because how he was feeling and how he was performing, and that it wasn't coming together for him. And so now I'm not hearing that as much.
That's great.
I mean, he doesn't come out and say it, because I don't know, many 9-year-olds who wouldn't be that self-aware. But the fact that he's choosing to read, to actually read in his downtime now, speaks volumes to his ease and the joy and confidence that he now feels. It's a good thing.
And that's what it's all about. Well, thank you guys for sticking with it and doing that.
Yeah, it's a good fit.
All right.